Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting session on CoachMinister. So we're starting off. Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting session on CoachMinister, your go-to platform for empowering pharmacists and healthcare professionals and guiding them towards thriving careers, especially those considering the leap to Australia. I'm Aman Khan, your host, and today we have a distinguished guest with us, someone who brings wealth of experience and knowledge in the field of pharmacy. I'm delighted to introduce Mr. Remon Magdy, a seasoned clinical and community pharmacist with an impressive 17 years of professional expertise. His journey spans across various roles, from being a community pharmacist at Chemist Warehouse in Western Australia to holding significant positions in pharmaceutical industry in Egypt and Morocco. His commitment to education is further highlighted by his role as a freelancer lecturer of basic and clinical pharmacology for medical students and foreign pharmacy boards, including the KAPS exam. Today, we are fortunate to have Mr. Remon Magdy here to delve into a crucial aspect of the journey, understanding the KAPS exam syllabus and identifying the best study materials. He will guide us through breaking down of the KAPS syllabus, recommending resources for each section, sharing insights on crafting an effective study plan, discussing time management, and offering valuable tips on balancing work and study.
Hello,
Hi
man. How
Raymond,
are you?
welcome to our live session with CoachMinister. I'm great, sir.
Hi,
How
nice
are
to
you?
meet you. Nice to meet you all, guys.
So, as a yeah, our viewers are curious to know about you. So we'll start off by a brief introduction. Can you tell us a brief introduction about yourself?
My name is Remon Magdy, a clinical and community pharmacist. Graduated from the
Raymond,
Faculty of
am
Pharmacy.
I audible?
Yes, I hear you well. I hear you well. I'm a pharmacist from Egypt with 17 years
Yes,
of
yes.
experience in both teaching and retail experience and clinical experience. I've been teaching pharmacists from so many nationalities, Arabs, Egyptians, of course, and from India, and those who are preparing for CAPS and planning to relocate in Australia, and those who are studying the American and the Canadian board as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Raymond. Let's just dive into our live session and start off the questions. So, first question is, can you provide a brief overview of the CAS exam for our viewers who might be unfamiliar with it?
Yes, okay. Simply, the CAPS exam, CAPS, KAPS, which is Knowledge Assessment of Pharmaceutical Sciences. This exam is the first step when you say, I'm going to Australia as a pharmacist, okay? And this exam tests your knowledge and understanding of pharmaceutical sciences, but from the Australian perspective, which means that passing this exam confirms that you know enough to practice safely and effectively in the Australian setting, whatever it's a retail pharmacy or a hospital or whatever. This is simply what is CAPS exam.
Okay. So, why is it so important for the people who are preparing for it? Like, what perks do you get when you become a pharmacist in Australia and clear CAPS?
It's very important to pass the CAPS because not all pharmacy graduates from all over the world are approved to practice in Australia. So this is the gate. Even some postgraduate also need to be assessed through this exam. This is a point, and it's a very important and very simple exam in the same time.
Okay. So, it's like a gateway for the people who are preparing for it for the great life ahead.
Yes. That's
Okay,
right.
so the next question for you is, could you break down the CAPS exam syllabus into its main sections and categories?
Yes, okay. Um, The KAPS exam consists mainly of 200 questions, okay? Over 2 papers. Every paper duration is 2 hours. So we are talking about a total of 4 hours of assessment, okay?
Okay.
There is a 60-minute break in between. You can take it or leave it, whatever. And all the question formats are multiple choice questions, okay? If you want to break down the KAPS exam topics, so in paper 1, we have 2 main big categories, and in paper 2, another 2 main big categories. Let's start with paper 1. In paper 1, we have pharmaceutical chemistry and physiology and pharmacology. So the first part in paper 1 is pharmaceutical chemistry questions, which represent almost 30% of the questions. And the other 70% are from the physiology and pharmacology. This is paper 1. In paper 2, we have 2 main big sections. The first one is pharmaceutics, and the questions covered are almost 30%, and the other 70% is therapeutics, which is a very big area. So this is simply the distribution of topics between the 2 papers. But the most important thing is to pass the KAPS exam, you have to make sure that you get 50% at least in each section, which means you have to get at least 50% right answers in the pharmaceutical chemistry section, and at least 50% right answers in the pharmacology and physiology section, and the same in the pharmaceutics and therapeutics. And when you pass more than 50% in all of these sections, of course, your overall mark will be over 50%, which is a pass mark.
So, for viewers, are you listening carefully, because it's an important insight on CAPS exam. If you want to pass it, these are the areas you need to cover. So, moving forward, Raymond, I have a very good question for you. Which
Yeah,
sections are often considered more challenging by the candidates, and why is it so?
yeah, this is a very good question, Aman. Thank you for it. Look, it depends because there is individual variations. But from my experience, the the 3 main sections or topics that people consider it a little bit challenging are the calculations. And in the calculations, we have two main issues: the pharmaceutical calculations section and the pharmacokinetics section. The second topic is the CNS, which is the central nervous system questions. And other people say, no, this is an easy part for me. Other people say, which is the CVS section, which is the cardiovascular system. So it depends. And the third challenging topic is antibiotics and microbiology. So that's why, and again, a few people, not a lot of people, a few people find it a little bit challenging to study the antibiotics and bacteria, because there is a lot that should be known about this area of practice. So these are the main topics: the calculations, some topics in pharmacology and antibiotics. These are the main topics to be a little bit challenging. But if you study well, if you follow an effective and efficient plan, you will pass very easily.
So, these topics are very difficult for the people preparing for the CAPS exam. So, what can they do differently to make these topics a little easier for them?
Which makes these topics easy is the practice. Practice makes perfect, because you have to solve a lot of questions, you have to study well, you have to be dedicated to get not just 50%, but to pass far and far and far over this limit. Because, to be honest with you, it's not just to pass the CAPS. It's easy to pass the CAPS, but what about the other stages? It's very important to set a target and to set a goal that should be reached. Why are you studying the KAPS exam? Why are you going to practice as a pharmacist in Australia? It's not just the KAPS. This is the big vision, you know? That's why it's very important to know, why should I study like this? Why should I make a plan? Why should study hard and hard? This is very important.
So, like by judging by your answer, everyone who's watching should focus on everything what they're doing. Like every step is important. To pass the CAPS exam, you have to focus on every step, everything that you do. You have to be focused on that.
Sure, sure. Because the KAPS exam, as I said, it's the gate. So when you pass the gate, there is another gate, you know,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit of base. You put a very strong base to build on this base your clinical practice and your experience. So how to build on a base which is not strong? It's very important.
Yeah, that's great. So a lot of viewers are just curious about what study materials they have to use while studying for the CAPS exam. So my next question will be based on this type of things. So for each section, the CAPS exam, could you recommend some essential study materials and resources for our viewers?
Yeah, thanks a lot for this question. Look, for the materials, we have a lot actually, but the main materials or references. First is the Comprehensive Pharmacy Review, which is an American textbook, and as the name said, it's a comprehensive. It discusses all the topics in pharmacy, all the topics in a very simple and detailed manner as well. The second textbook is the Lippincott in Pharmacology, and all of us as pharmacists know this type of textbook in pharmacology. And we have also Pharmaceutical Calculations for Ansel. Ansel is one of the amazing authors in the field of pharmaceutical calculations, and his textbook is really, really very interesting one. And we have also the AMH. What is the AMH? The Australian Medicines Handbook. This one is one of the most important textbooks in the field of therapeutics. Okay, so these are simply, there is a lot more on the website, but these are the main that we focus on to study from, to study their questions, because they have very detailed questions and model answers as well. So these are mainly the main references and textbooks to use while preparing for your CAPS exam.
Viewer has just asked a question, which is a very good one. So I'll show you and ask you about it. So how much time one should dedicate every day to prepare for the CAPS exam? Like every viewer has this doubt, and I want you to answer this because you are an expert of it, CAPS.
If you are working, it's a little bit challenging. So if you work, at least make it 2 hours per day. And if you cannot make them continuous 2 hours, make it at least 1 hour in early morning, which you will be very effective, and the other hour after going home, if you have enough energy left. If you don't have enough energy, you have to dedicate this hour during, if your work is office based or whatever, try to finish the second hour during the day. So at least 2 hours per day. If you are free and dedicated to CAPS, it should be at least 5 to 6 hours per day study to be very effective.
So let me answer one of the questions. So people are asking to write in the description box about the books. Please let me tell you. Will once this session ends, we'll inform you about all the resources and books in the description box as well. And also, you can also visit the Coach Minister YouTube channel. We have also made a video about books and resources that will help you pass and clear the CAPS exam. So please do visit our channel, and also I'll just tag in 20% month end discount is been going on and on CoachMinister, which will end on 30th of November. So please call on the WhatsApp number given in your screen and know more about it, because it will end on 30th November. So please call and get informed. So, getting back to the topic, uh, one more questions have been asked by a viewer, Samisha Taskeen. It is necessary to apply for this after getting a pharma license. Like, is it necessary to apply for CAPS exam after getting a pharmacy license?
Yes, yes. You cannot enter the KAPS exam without being a registered pharmacist in your country first. So you have to be licensed first, then apply for the KAPS exam.
Samisha, we have also done a incredible live session with Praveen God, and we've also answered a lot about CAPS in that session as well. So please do check that out also. And
Yes.
in the meantime, I'll ask some more questions to Raymond sir. Sir, are there any specific textbooks or online platform like CoachMinister that you find particularly beneficial for CAPS preparation? Like, how can CoachMinister help the people who are watching this live session?
Yes, look, in CoachMinister, we provide you with all the useful resources and courses and materials which are necessary for you to pass the KAPS exam. And I'd like to highlight a very important point to consider regarding this issue. Uh, you should, as a student or as an examinee who will take this KAPS exam, you should do a lot of effort because it's practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. That's we are always saying that try to practice as much as you can. Try to do your job. Try to do your part because whatever the material that you get, whatever the textbooks, without doing hard and smart job, it will be in vain, right? So that's why you should study, you should make effort, you should be insistent on reaching your goal. This is a very important message that I want to deliver to all of our audiences. It's a challenging part, I know, but it's reachable, very reachable, and very easy to do it.
So I am making videos for CoachMinister for like 3 months, and we have been posting continuous content about the CAPS. And let me tell you this: so much I've heard about CAPS, so much I've learned, so much I've discussed, but the insights I'm getting from you are just incredible. So it is very beneficial for the viewers that are watching us. Please do listen to this grateful insight that will help you build a great career in Australia. So, moving forward on the live session. So, in this section, we'll just talk about creating an effective study plan and how to like manage studies with the work. Because a lot of people who here are professionals like pharmacists who are aiming for Australia, who want to get in Australia and get a good pharmacy job and earn good. So, these questions are for them. How should an aspiring candidate go about creating a structured study plan for the CAPS exam?
Yes, that's very important question. Let me first tell you something funny. Tomato in Italian language called pomodoro. Okay, there's something called the pomodoro technique, which is the tomato technique. What is that tomato? And what is the relation between caps and tomato? It's a very interesting technique to study while you are working. How to do it? You can assign 25 minutes. Start studying for just 25 minutes, not more. And then take a break for 10 minutes. After that, take 25 minutes. And then 10 minutes. Repeat this process till you do 25 minutes. Okay, and after that, reward yourself. Take some chocolate, take coffee, take a longer break, an hour or more or whatever. This is a very effective way to study and to make a plan while you are working or while you are busy. And of course, if you are free, it will be amazing. Okay. We can focus, and this is the trick that most of people do. Recalls are very important to study. Okay, the previous years, the previous questions are very important. But recently, because of the high flow of pharmacists to Australia, the APC, which is the Australian Pharmacy Council, started to renew the question bank,
Yeah.
which means people who are relying only on recalls and previous years, when they entered the last CAPS exam, they are astonished. Nothing is repeated.
Okay.
That's why we are saying you have to work hard. You have to do extra effort, not just studying the usual questions and the repeated recalls. No, you have to study extra, because maybe you can find a question or you can get any question from those extra materials that you studied yourself. Okay, I prefer to distribute my effort because we have 4 big sections. So it's 50%, 50%, 50%, 50% of the we have 200 questions, which means I have 50 questions in the calculations. I have 50 questions in the pharmacology. I have 50 questions in pharmaceutics. I have 50 questions in therapeutics. So I have to distribute my effort to pass the 50% of each section. Nothing or no section is more important than others. Of course, you get more questions on calculations, on pharmacology, of course. But what about the passing mark? The passing mark is 50%. This is very important. So try to get your time of studying parallel to the percentage of questions. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So, for example, if I will, for example, today I will study for 2 hours, 1 hour for the calculations and 1 hour for the therapeutics. Tomorrow, another 2 hours, 1 hour for the chemistry, 1 hour. You know what I mean? So I have to distribute my efforts. Some people focus mainly on just 1 or 2 topics and they ignore the other.
Yeah.
No, this is not applicable anymore. We can do this maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but nowadays, no, it's totally different.
So it's a very common question, but I have to ask this. So when you prepared for the CAPS exam and the newer generation who are now preparing for the CAPS exam, what's the main differences? Like you mentioned, how the things have changed and how the newer generation are facing are finding it a little difficult just by preparing the previous year question paper. They have to prepare with a new techniques. So how is it different when you prepared and now the newer generation? What challenges they are facing now and when you faced it?
Actually, for me, when I entered the CAPS, um, I prepared myself in all sections. I didn't did what's called a selective study. Some people do selective study, and this is risky. You will be so lucky if you get the questions in the parts that you studied, but what if the questions are different? Okay, so I don't believe anymore in selective study. I believe in comprehensive study. Study everything. If you don't have enough time, just read. The more you read, the more you will have the sense of the answer. Again, the more you read, the more you will have the sense to answer, which means if I give you a multiple choice question from the CAPS exam with 4 choices, and you have to choose one of them, for example, and this is the first time to see this question, if you read a lot about such different topic, just read. You can luckily get the right answer.
Yeah.
If this is the first time to see this question, and this is what happened in the last CAPS exam, a lot of people faced a lot of new questions. Okay, so how to cover. It's not practical to cover all the 5 years of study or 6 years of study in the university in 4 hours of exam. So that's why they examine pharmacists, because you already have the base. What if I, for example, give a lecture on pharmacology, pharmacological topic, for example, and you get a different question, and can happen very easily. But you're a pharmacist. You have already your own base.
Yeah.
It's not that all that you take in the lectures or in the textbook. You have your own experience and your own base.
Yeah. So viewers, as you can see, you have to be very careful when you prepare for the CAPS exam, and there's a lot of challenges. And as Raymond mentioned, the tomato technique, please use it because I find it incredibly interesting, and I'll definitely implement it on my studies. So a great question has come in. Alkama Sarin has asked, so how can Coach Minister help in preparing for the CAPS exam? As I am the content creator in Coach Minister, I can say that I have covered definitely a lot of topics related to the CAPS exam. And you're a faculty at Coach Minister. Please, I want to ask you, like, how Coach Minister is different from the other people who are mainly working on the same niche, but how is it different? Like in Coach Minister, what benefits do people get?
Yes, the difference is in the simplicity and the effectiveness at the same time, which means we give the scientific information in a simple way and in a fast way. Because I know a few people, not a lot, luckily, few people want to focus on very detailed information. This is a very wrong technique to study for the CAPS exam. Avoid very exhausting details. It's not about the deep details. No, it's just comprehensive exam. They just want to test your general knowledge of the topics. You are not applying for a master's degree or a PhD degree. You are applying for a board. And a board, the Australian board, doesn't know the qualifications in India, doesn't know the qualifications in Egypt, doesn't know the qualifications in Iraq or whatever the country. So they want to assess your knowledge based on their standards. So my advice is to study simply. We provide in CoachMinister the simple solution and the fast solution without any complications.
So Samiksha Taskin has another question for us. She's asking, is it all MCQ? Like, is the CAPS exam all MCQ exam or long answers questions also?
No, all MCQ, no long answer questions.
So I hope Samiksha you got your answer. And Sandeep Goirai is asking, is sir, what is the qualification mark for CAPS exam? I think we have also all answered that question. Like she's asking about the percentage of passing and how can one qualify for the CAPS exam? Like what is the qualification criteria?
You are qualified in the CAPS exam on two criteria. The first is overall pass mark of 50%, overall in the two papers, 50%, and at least 50% to pass in every section that we set.
Okay. Uh, Dinesh Pradhi is asking, like, is there any age restriction on CAPS exam? Like,
No, no.
and also let me answer one more question. There's no limit on how many times you can attempt the CAPS exam. Am I right, sir?
Actually, let me check the answer for this question, but I think, as far as I know, you can enter it so many times.
Yes. So moving forward on our live session, this is many of our viewers here are working professionals and they have a very busy schedule and they're not getting the time to like study for the CAPS exam, but they really want to be a pharmacist in Australia and they're dreaming for it. So this section is all for them. So many of our viewers are working professionals. How can they effectively manage their time to balance work and CAPS exam preparation?
Yes, as I said, your work will help you a lot. as a pharmacist. If you are still in the same career, this will help you a lot, especially if you are in the retail section or in the retail pharmacy section. Okay. Uh, as I said, also, you can dedicate just 1 or 2 hours before you start your day. This is very important. And the other hour when you go home. Or you can use the Pomodoro technique that I said during the day. So, for example, if you start your work early, you can just dedicate 1 hour, and in this 1 hour, you can finish 25 minutes, which is 50 minutes. And they will be very productive. And after you go home, spend another hour, or if you can, 2 hours, it will be very good.
Okay. So I hope viewers you got your answer. And D Prasad has asked one question. Is it any English level, English language or reasoning type question in either paper 1 and 2 in CAPS?
No, no, no. There is no English language questions. No, no. And by the way, the questions are very clear. It's all about pharmacy, nothing about English language. All
Like the
about,
same that we discussed about the syllabus. It's all related to the syllabus of CAPS.
yes, yes, the syllabus, as I said, it's 4 main divisions. The first division is pharmaceutical chemistry, which is 50% of the pass mark in paper 1. And the second topic is physiology and pharmacology, which is the other 50% in paper 1. In paper 2, the pharmaceutics, which is 50%, and the therapeutics, which is the other 50% in paper 2.
Okay, Dinesh Paradhi has asked one other question. Is previous pharmacist experience required? Is it like the
Yes,
experience is required or not in CAPS?
yes, yes, required.
Okay, so another question, like is there acha, age restriction? We have covered the age restriction part, right? Okay, so we'll move forward in our live session. Are there any time saving tips or techniques that can be applied during the preparation phase?
Of course, social media restrictions, Facebook and YouTube and all the other uneducational channels. Please see educational channels like CoachMinister, any pharmacology channels, but avoid, because time wasters, number one is social media and Facebook and unnecessary browsing. So if you shifted your hours on Facebook and dedicated to the CAPS study, it would be very effective.
Yeah, I am a student myself and I also spend a lot of time on social media, so I can relate to it very well. So, Ehsan Rahman has asked one question. What are the further steps after CAPS exam?
Yes, thank you, Sam, for this amazing question. This is a very good, and this is what I said before. You have to get a goal. Your goal is not just to pass the CAPS. Never. The steps after CAPS are you are applying for an internship as an intern pharmacist in a retail pharmacy or a hospital pharmacy. And during this internship, it's almost 1 year. During this year, you have to finish what's called intern training program. You enroll yourself in what's called the intern training program with 2 of the main associations in Australia, the Pharmaceutical Society of Australia or the Pharmacy Guild of Australia. You choose one of them, both are the same or equal, and you enroll yourself in this intern training program and finish all the assignments and all the tasks required from you during this year. And after that, you can apply for general registration. But before applying for the general registration, you have to pass the written exam, which is almost the same format as CAPS, and the oral exam. So you have to pass first the written exam and the oral exam after finishing your intern training program, and then apply for general registration as a pharmacist.
So in Coach Minister, we have covered all these topics in our videos. So please do check them out on our YouTube channel. And also, let me please remind you again for the 20% month end discount we have, and it is ending on the 30th of November. So please do chime in and please get that information from the WhatsApp number we have given. And another question has come up, is it's from Bhargava Narendra. He's asking, can PharmD people are eligible for CAPS or not?
Sure, sure. Because simply they
So,
are pharmacists. Any pharmacist can apply for CAPS.
and Vishnudev Verma is asking, like, what are the exam centers for CAPS?
On the website of the APC, you will find in every country a specific center that do the exam. So it depends on the country.
So
Actually,
please
I
do
don't
check.
know which center in India, but in every country you will have a specific center who will do the exam. You can check the website for this. Or simply
Another
you can
question
send an
is,
email. Just send an email for them and they will reply you back.
yeah. So Dhruvan Tej Reddy is asked a question. Is it mandatory to have PCI certification for applying CAPS?
Sorry, what is PCI certification? I don't know it.
I'm not even sure of it. Like another he has asked another question, like what will be the salary per month for CAPS qualifying pharmacist? Dhruvan, we have made a video on this also. Also, there are a YouTube live session with Praveen sir in which we discuss the salary per month of CAPS exam. So, but I would also like to know your thoughts, Raymond, for about this question.
Yes, this is a good question as well. Look, when you pass the CAPS exam, you cannot work as a pharmacist because there are still two steps, as I said. But you can work as a pharmacy assistant or a dispensary assistant. When you work as an assistant, it depends on the pharmacy, but the average is could be $18 per hour to $20 per hour. Some pharmacies gives less, but this is the range as far as I remember for the DAs, the dispensary assistants.
Okay. So, Samiksha Taskin has asked, like, should I study other subject, other basic subjects other than the four main ones? Like, she is asking the
No,
other than the four main ones.
no, nothing more requested, but these are very big areas. They are not just four subjects
Yeah,
because in every one of them there is a lot of topics.
I hope Samiksha you got your answer. And Dinesh Paradhi has asked, I don't have pharmacist experience. In such case, am I eligible to apply for the CAPS exam or not?
They will ask for your experience because your experience should be assessed first before you are eligible to be a candidate for the exam. So you have to prove your experience as a pharmacist. Otherwise, why you are applying for the CAPS exam and you are not working as a pharmacist? This will give them an alarm and a question mark. They will email you. So why? Or you are not eligible for the CAPS exam. So you should have an experience as a pharmacist, whatever the section in industrial pharmacy, retail, hospital, or whatever.
But
But you
yeah,
should be working as a pharmacist. Yes.
yeah, it will the experience will help, but is he eligible for the exam? Like he can set,
Yes.
so you can set on the exam, but an experience always
Sorry,
helps.
sorry, sorry. I just want to clarify. You mean the experience? So many years
Like
of experience, or what?
he's asking, like if he doesn't have the experience, will he still be able to sit for the exam or not?
Experience is not a request, but you should work as a pharmacist. So
Yeah,
if I graduated yesterday from the faculty of pharmacy, I can apply for CAPS, but but
yeah,
but I should be working as a pharmacist.
yeah. So I hope Dinesh you got your answer. Another generic question has come up, but this is a very funny question as well. We have answered it, but I want to know your thoughts about it. The CAPS exam is easy for Indians or not?
The CAPS exam is easy for any nationality who study very well.
I hope Anjeet, you got your answer. So moving forward in our live session, uh, based on your experience, what are some common mistakes or pitfalls that candidates should be mindful of during their CAPS exam preparation?
Yes. Uh, Look, as I said, focusing on recalls only. This is one of the big mistakes. You should not focus on the recalls only, despite the importance of recalls. Okay. The second thing is lack of clear target and commitment, which means why you are studying for the exam, why you are going for the CAPS exam. It's not just to pass the CAPS because it's an easy step. What after that? This is very important. And also, lack of time management. You have to effectively manage your time, as we said, a lot of ideas about that. And do not selectively study specific subjects. You have to study all as much as you can. As much as you can.
Okay, so another question I have for you: as candidates approach the CAPS exam day, what advice do you have for them in terms of last-minute preparation and managing exam-related stress?
From my point of view, I don't like last minute preparation because psychologically and on the brain level, no, it's time waste. Uh, last minute preparation puts some information in your subconscious mind. And when you go to the exam, you forget everything. It happens.
Yeah,
And when you go out and the stress is out of you, you remember everything. So I don't like last minute preparation at all. You should get enough rest and enough sleep the day before the exam. And then in the early morning, you can just look at some formulas, some reminders, very simple, but without any stress or without feeling that you didn't finish anything. No, just go in a relaxed mindset.
yeah,
That's it.
that's a great tip. That's a great tip. So Samiksha has asked another question: what are the charges to apply for the exam?
We will put the charges on our website. You mean the charges for the CAPS itself?
Yes, sir. The fees of the
Ah,
CAPS. Yeah.
the fees of the CAPS. Let me go to the website, but for the time, I can advise that you can go to the website because I don't remember actually the exact price now. But you can go to the APC website and you will find the exact price, and you can
So
just
you can
confirm
go to the
from email.
Australian Medical Council
Yes,
website, and also we have covered this in our videos as well. You can go to Coach Minister's video section and find a various amount of shorts in which we have covered the charges of CAPS. So please do. It's close to around 2,000 Australian dollars. So as far as I have researched, so please do visit the website as well as the Coach Minister channel to know more about this. And in the
yes.
meantime, we have got another question by GT Vishnu who's asking, I'm working in a pharmaceutical industry, QA. How can I join in Australian pharmaceutical industry?
Yes, a very good question. If you are an industrial pharmacist, you don't have to go in the CAPS exam. You don't have to take the CAPS exam because CAPS exam is only for retail pharmacists and the hospital pharmacists. So you can use your experience as an industrial pharmacist to apply directly in pharmaceutical companies in Australia. That's it.
Okay. So, how can candidates integrate their practical experience into the CAPS preparation?
Yes, very good question. And I said it a while ago. You are already a pharmacist.
Yeah.
You are not new to this subject. So you can use your experience as a retail pharmacist, for example, for the over the counter medications. If someone comes to you with a specific ailment or a specific problem or any health issue and asks for your advice, so you can use your sense your medical sense, your pharmaceutical sense to prescribe a specific medication and to do some advices and to do some counseling. So this will help you in studying for the CAPS exam. Also, um, back to the basics of the faculty, of early years of the faculty, some chemistry basics, some biochemistry, some pharmaceutics. So if you are doing, for example, compounding in your pharmacy, it will be easy for you to study pharmaceutics and to do all of the tasks required from you. So being a pharmacist will serve you a lot, even if you get a question which is not covered during the sessions. And this is a very probable cause, because we don't know the new question bank. And the question bank can be totally new. This is a very important point. We try to cover as much as we can in a comprehensive sessions, but still you will get new questions. And this is normal, because there is something called the curve in the exam. The exam is not meant to be solved 100%. There must be something wrong. It must be solved in a specific percentage. There must be brand new questions. This is the nature of board examinations, either in Australia, Canada, USA, or whatever.
Okay. So, last question. So, how important is it for candidates to take practice exams and mock tests during preparation? Like you have talked about practice makes a man perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. So, how important are mock tests?
The mock test, you will find on the APC website 2 big mock tests with full answers. I recommend you to study them all to have an idea on the exam, because mock tests gives you the atmosphere of the questions, gives you an idea about what topics am I going to go, or gives you also the sense of answer. As I said, you have to have that sense of answer, and that sense of answer comes from reading. Just read. I'm not saying study. No, just read questions and answers. Questions and answers. Because some of our sessions will cover the topic in a specific way, and you will find questions a little bit different from the topic. So why? Because questions covers a lot of weak points. So try to solve questions as much as you can, either recalls or from our sessions or from any source, any type of question. Don't say that this question, it's very easy. No, it will not come. Or this is very difficult to come. No, don't assume anything. Study everything you can.
Okay, so D Prasad has a doubt, so we'll clear that up. As earlier told, in which section paper 1 or paper 2, subjects like biochemistry and microbiology topic and questions are? Matlab, in which questions, these questions will consist on paper 1 or paper 2?
The chemistry the chemistry is in paper 1. Look, paper 1 is mainly basic science, chemistry and biochemistry and microbiology. Okay? Paper 2 is a little bit clinical or practical, which is therapeutics, pharmaceutics. So paper 1 is mainly for basic science, and paper 2 is a little bit of clinical science.
Okay, sir. So there we are, folks. And that concludes our live session with the incredible Mr. Remon Magdy. We're incredibly grateful for the insight you have shared today, unveiling the complexities of CAPS exam, syllabus, and providing valuable guidance on study materials, planning, and time management. To our audience, I hope you found the session as enlightening as I did. The road to success in the CAPS exam may seem challenging, but armed with the right knowledge and resources, you're better equipped and to navigate it. Remember, this is just the beginning of your journey. The path of success is paved with dedication, continuous learning, and right mentorship. Coach Minister is here to support you in every step. A big thank you to Mr. Remon Magdy for sharing his expertise, and of course, thank you to our audience for joining us today. Stay tuned for more valuable content on Coach Minister, where we empower pharmacists to reach new heights in their career. And also, lastly, I want to remind you with the 20% month end discount that will end on the 30th of November. So please do check that out and call the number we have given. And thank you, Raymond sir, for joining us today. We're incredibly grateful to so much for your time and effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aman, and thank you so much for you all, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bye bye, sir. And bye bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.